Hey guys, what's going on? It is Ash here. Today I have a very special episode for you guys. I think it's going to help a lot of you out. I spent the last few hours practicing LaLoon attacks on this friendly challenge base and a few other bases, and what I thought I'd do in today's episode is really break down this attack and show you where things could possibly go wrong. So what we're going to do is watch a successful 3-star attack, and then I'm going to show you how I got here and tell you all about things that I did incorrectly and how I adjusted to fix them. Hopefully, even if you're not necessarily interested in executing LaLoon attacks for 3 stars, this can teach you some tips, whether it be with a Queen Walk or whether it be with Loon and in Lava Hound deployment on an air portion of a raid. So you can see here, I use my Queen to take out the enemy Queen and the clan castle here. I'm going to use 2 rages on my Queen. I still have 3 haste spells, a rage spell, and a freeze spell for the air portion of my attack. So here comes the air portion coming in from the northwest, as you can see. Then I just delay a little bit and I deploy the rest of my balloons coming in from the southwest. They kind of meet up. My Barbarian King is now deployed to tank for my Queen a little bit there, and then you can see things are going really nicely here. All the balloons are going to merge towards the center of the base, and I'm going to use my 3 haste spells pretty early on. I'm going to use my Eternal Tome ability to give those balloons some immunity, initially engaging the core of the base. Then I'm going to go ahead and drop that freeze spell as the balloons work their way into the core and through the core, taking down both of those Inferno towers. Now, you can see the rest of the raid is pretty easy from here. I don't have to really use anything except for the Barbarian King Iron Fist ability, which I use right now because I do want to catch up and take down that second air defense. Those Barbarians will help me do that. Now, these ring bases can be very tricky, especially with ground attacks, and to be honest with you guys, air is really still lagging way behind ground attacks right now, way behind. I mean, air does not have a spam attack, first of all. All these attacks require a lot of planning, but hopefully Supercell does buff air, and then these skills will hopefully come into good usage when they do so. So what I want to do is, I want to start by talking just about what you're doing with your Archer Queen in your Queen Walk portion of this attack. So obviously, the goal is to take down the enemy Archer Queen and the air defense, but there's a few other factors that you want to take into consideration. Number 1 being this Archer Tower. It's very, very important that you start your Queen Walk from a direction where she'll take down the Archer Tower. So for example, if I'm attacking from 6 o'clock over here, I want to make sure I go into that Archer Tower, then I move towards the west. If I'm starting in the east, I want to move towards the south because I want to take down that Archer Tower. Again, over here, I want to make sure I head to the north. And lastly, in the north, I'll head east, meaning that my Queen will kill the Archer Tower and then she'll move in that direction. That way, the Archer Tower doesn't do what you're going to see here and start targeting my healers. If the Archer Tower starts targeting my healers, it will be able to take down 2 of my healers, and there's no way I can take care of the clan castle troops and keep my Queen alive with only 2 healers on her, even with rage. As you'll see here, my Queen will die shortly. So it's very important that, I mean, there's also another alternative, right? You can also use miners, for example, to take down that Archer Tower, but you need to account for that Archer Tower. It's much easier on a base like this to start from where we initially started from, around 1 o'clock with the Archer Queen, and then move her south. That way you don't have to worry about that Archer Tower taking down your healers. So it's very important. So we're going to go ahead and walk through the beginning of that raid again, the successful raid now, and we'll talk about all the little steps we take here. So you can see, first thing you want to draw your attention to is that minion taking down that army camp. That's just a precautionary measure. You know how Queen's AI can be, especially on your first attack on the base. If you can sneak 1 minion in there to take down a unit, by all means do so. So now this Archer Tower is down. Now the Queen is totally safe, and more importantly, the healers are safe. So I drop my first rage spell. Here come the clan castle troops. Now watch this poison spell. This is very important. I always use poison on the enemy Archer Queen. Right now, there's not even a rage spell down at this point, and my Archer Queen is still alive. Just with 4 healers, mano-a-mano against a Queen. Now I end up using that second rage spell to keep her alive throughout the rest of the raid, but the poison spell on an Archer Queen slows down her rate of fire so dramatically that it's really important to use the poison on the Archer Queen, especially if you're engaging the Archer Queen in a Queen Walk. So now with the second half of today's episode, we're going to deal with the second half of the raid. We're going to talk about 2 variations of the air portion of the attack that would be a no-go, and we'll talk about how to plan out the Lava Hound deployment and the balloon deployment to make sure you have success. So here, I used all 3 of my Lava Hounds from the northwest on that very first air defense, and now I'm just left with 5 balloons. This is not going to work. You need to make sure you're essentially, let me try to really articulate this so it's easy to understand. With the air portion of the attack, picture it this way. The ground portion, the queen portion, she took out the northeast part of the base. With the air portion of the attack, you're going to want to account for 2 more directions on the compass. So we want to make sure we get the engagement point, which is going to be the main force with the Grand Warden. That's going to be in the northwest. And then we want to always hold off 1 of the Lava Hounds and a few balloons for the other direction, which is going to be the southwest. So in other words, we're creating a funnel for the main clump of balloons to get to that core. We need to get our balloons to the core. So let's watch again. The problem on that last one, if you want to go ahead and rewind and watch again, was I didn't save a Lava Hound and the rest of the balloons to come in from the southwest right now. So now I only have one part of the funnel created with the Archer Queen, and then those balloons are going to start going around the base. Now on this second air portion, I did another thing wrong here. And what I did wrong here is I delayed way too long on that the third Lava Hound, and now that funnel has not been created, and you can see a few of those balloons that were supposed to go to the core actually merged right near that Barbarian King, actually merged and started heading south instead of the core. Actually, they eventually get to the core, but much too late, and then at that point, my Eternal Tome ability has already worn off, and my freeze spell is going to be too little too late. So it's a really tiny thing, but when you're deploying your balloons, you should deploy your Lava Hounds. You should deploy 2 of your Lava Hounds at the first air defense, and then deploy your Grand Warden, deploy the rest of your balloons, and then without delay, without hesitation, deploy that third Lava Hound backed up by the rest of your balloons to make sure you get that nice path to that core of the base for the main clump of balloons. So again, I want to show you a different variation. So some of you might be asking right now, okay, can you attack this base from a different angle? Why the northwest? And honestly, it's pretty easy. The reason I'm going in from the northwest is because of the air sweeper direction. So that's something we haven't talked at all about today, but that should be the first thing you look at when you hit a base with any kind of air attack. What direction are the air sweepers facing? But that's not to say that you can't be successful going in from another direction. Let me show you another variation. This time 2 Lava Hounds towards the first air defense, and again without delay I have my third Lava Hound at the second air defense. If you delay too long on that third air defense, your balloons are going to start circling around the base just like ground troops do against these ring bases. So what I always do too, if you didn't notice on the first replay, is I like to deploy 2 or 3 reinforcement balloons towards the core of the base. So after these balloons are doing their work, I have some backup balloons that will merge in with the rest of the balloons into the core of the base, just providing a little bit of extra firepower when I deal with all those defenses in the center of the base there. So you can see here, a little bit early on my Eternal Tome ability and a little bit late on my freeze ability, but it actually doesn't really matter that much here. I am going against that air sweeper, something I didn't really want to do, but just to show you, this can be successful from other directions. But by all means, if someone is inviting you to attack a base from one certain direction because of the air sweeper direction, certainly take advantage of that opportunity. There's no reason to go directly into an air sweeper, but this just goes to show you that with the same fundamentals, you still can have success. So before I let you guys go today, let's watch the successful attack one more time, the original attack, just so now with all that knowledge that hopefully you've acquired throughout the episode, you can put it into play here. So again, starting my Archer Queen from a direction where she will take down anything that will be targeting those healers. I use my Rage spell very liberally, don't want to lose my Queen, better safe than sorry with both the Royal Cloak ability and certainly the Rage spells. I want to go ahead and make sure I drop the poison on both the Clan Castle if possible and the enemy Queen. If you're going to be engaging both at the same time, I'd prefer drop it on the enemy Queen versus the Clan Castle. So again, here I have 2 Lava Hounds deployed, I have my balloons deployed, I have my Grand Warden immediately deployed, and then immediately again I have my 3rd Lava Hound deployed to create that funnel for the troops. I have my King deployed to help tank for my Queen. Now let's pay special attention here to my spell usage here. I have my 3 hastes already on the board in like a triangle position right now, just speeding everything up as they enter the core. I use my Eternal Tome ability pretty early on, engaging that first Inferno Tower. Then I use my freeze spell as soon as the Eternal Tome wears off. And you'll want to know on that that freeze spell, I was able to get the Eagle Artillery frozen, as well as the Air Sweeper frozen, as well as an Inferno Tower frozen. So always try to plan your freeze spell to freeze as many high priority targets as possible. Pretty obvious, but another thing to think about during these raids. So guys, a little bit of a different format in today's episode. I hope you guys liked it. Interested to hear your feedback in the comments below. So thanks so much for watching, and as always, take care, guys.
We don't play for fame, we don't play for clout.